Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing today? Are you guys ready to have a great day at Deck Days 26? Give me a big woohoo! All right. The room is already rocking. And you know what? They got these big tubs of popcorn in the back that we're going to have to attack before the end of the day. I saw those back there. I was giving the guys in the back corner a hard time about that. So they're going to be guarding that. And obviously, can we give City Barbecue a big round of applause? Did they put something out there or what? That was good. And they didn't make the plates big enough. I think they need like bigger plates for that kind of thing. My name is Kevin West. I'm your host for today. We're going to have a great day planned for you. Did you guys know that you are in the top 2%? When you look across industries, when you look across the planet when it comes to industries and areas of focus, there's always a top 2% who spend their time, who spend their energy working on them. They're working on their business. They're developing themselves personally. You guys are here today, and you're going to have a great day. The lineup is strong, and you're going to get some really good stuff today. And so can you give yourselves a big round of applause? Give yourselves a hand here, friends. Now we're going to connect, we're going to learn, we're going to grow, and I'm going to give you a couple tips so that you can make the most out of this day. But before we do that, there's something really important that needs to happen, and I'm going to need all of you to stand up for a second. And when you stand up, I want you to look around the room, and I want you to find two people that you do not know. And I want you to find those two people, and I want you to tell them your name and who you are, because listen, some of the biggest things that happens at things like this are people that you meet that you didn't know before you got here. And I don't want you to miss out on that. So go make some friends. They got about 1 minute. Throw some music up. We'll come back. Ready, set, go. You guys are doing such a great job. You can make your way back to your seats. Remember these people, though. You're going to see them all day long. They're going to be in your breakouts. You're going to see them at lunch. Just make sure you bump into them and that you talk with them. I had a similar experience years ago. I was in Los Angeles, and I was with a group of people, and we were able to come together, and they made us do the same thing. And I met two individuals, and the time that we spent together, we became great friends over the years, still in contact today. This would have been close to 10 years ago. And the wisdom that I gained from that relationship tripled the size of my business. When you have that ability, to connect with somebody who's a little further than you, it's a very powerful thing. And you never realize that the game changer in your business could be less than 15 feet away from you. And I just want you, when you have events like this, when DAC puts on an event like this, they want that for you. They want to see your organization, your company, your business grow. And that's just a powerful thing when you put people together in a room like this. So let me give you a couple tips today to make the most of today. You with me on that? Let me give you some. How many guys got a pad and a pen in front of you? Because you're going to want to write some stuff down. I'm going to give you 3 things or a few things, just a couple things to write down, okay? And so when you're at an event like this and you want to make the most of it, you're looking for 3 things. The first thing, and you're going to write this down, you're looking for a mentor. Now, today is chock full of mentors. Let me do a rundown for you. So today, we have Tanya. I got to get my glasses down here. We got Tanya Cubitt. Give her a big woohoo. We have Jeremy Shields. That's right, Dave Beckham. Or Backman. Did I say it wrong, Dave? Sorry about that. How about this? We have, our keynotes. Katie Moon. We're going to learn today from someone who's won a gold medal. Isn't that phenomenal? And the only no doubt, that is like an incredible woohoo, right? Steve Elliott's going to be sharing with us today. RJ, right, and Randy are going to be sharing with us today. This is powerful stuff. So you have mentors. All these people are going to be mentors. A lot of times we look for mentors outside of something, but you have it right here. So you have a mentor. So for every talk, you're going to put at the top of your page, hey, my mentor today is this person. then here's what's gonna happen. Once you start listening to somebody, and trust me, this all happens, right? Once you start listening to somebody, all of a sudden you have a moment. You have a mentor, now I want you to write the next word down, moment. That moment is gonna come up to you in one way, shape, or form. It's gonna be something that's gonna open your eyes. You're gonna see something you didn't see before. It's gonna be maybe a nugget of wisdom. But that moment is powerful, and then you have to make a move with it. You're gonna have to make a decision. Hey, because I had this moment, this epiphany, this thing that just jumped out to me, what's the move I'm gonna make? And everybody you listen to, listen for those three things. Hey, I got my mentor. Where is the moment today? What did I learn? What was that one thing I learned? You don't have to learn everything. You just have to learn that one thing. And then what's the move I need to make? Now, let me take it one level higher. So you're gonna be at lunch. You're gonna be at breakouts. You're gonna be talking. Hey, the power that goes from when you sit with other people and you share your moment with someone else. Let's say you guys here in the front. By the way, you all get a gold star for sitting in the front row, by the way. And so when you all of a sudden, you're sharing your moments with each other, it magnifies it. Because now you're getting other people's perspectives based on something you've learned. Does that make sense? It's just not living between your ears. It's now being exposed to others at the table with you. And all of a sudden, now that moment, it all of a sudden gets bigger. It magnifies it. And here's the crazy thing. When it comes to making that move, it multiplies the impact of that move. Because you've taken the wisdom of maybe one or two of those people you just met a few minutes ago. And they shared something with you that added to something you just learned. That's why these things are so important. So important. So I want you guys to have the best day possible. I'm gonna help guide you through this. I'll be up and down, and there's a lot of things going on. And one of the biggest things going on as we transition out of this part is celebration. And so Randy and RJ are gonna come up. They got some awards to give. And we're gonna celebrate 2025. I know this is DAC Days 26, but we have a party to have. And there's a lot to celebrate, and there's some people that we're gonna just say a big woohoo to as they are championed and as they're celebrated. So can we give Randy and RJ a big round of applause as they come up?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's crazy to think that we're standing up here in 2026 at another DAC Days. This is going into my fourth year being the general manager of the company. And I remember the first time I came up here, somebody said it to me last night. They're like, when you stood up there, you really looked like you were nervous. And I'm gonna be honest, I still feel pretty nervous right now standing up here in front of all you guys. But we truly appreciate each and every one of you. I'll let my father speak here for a couple minutes, and then we're going to dive into the awards for 2025 and then kick off our big day here to lead into 26.
You told me I wasn't going to have to speak. Like RJ said, thank everybody for coming. And again, thank everybody for your business that you've done with us last year and many, many years. I know there's a lot of you here that have been here for many years. And we definitely appreciate you. I appreciate your friendships as much as the business you have done with us. Definitely enjoyed last evening for those of you that made it. Hopefully you enjoyed it and got a burger and got to visit with some other people and maybe learned something or picked up some sales tips or just information. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedules. I know everybody's busy and you got work to do and you're sitting there thinking what you could be doing if you were home or at work. So definitely don't think we don't appreciate it because we do. We appreciate it very much. And it seems like every year the room gets bigger and bigger and fuller. And so that's good to be here and be seen. So appreciate it. And with that, thank everybody. RJ is going to introduce some of our top dealers in the company, and several of you have been there many times. Some of you may be the first time. So Hopefully you'll leave here after today motivated and energized and go home and tear it up. So, and again, I will say, if you ever need to get a hold of myself, all the people at the office have my cell phone number. It's always on. If I don't answer it right away, leave me a message and I'm sure to return your call. So again, thank you for coming and hopefully you enjoy the day.
Perfect. Let's give him a round of applause, please. So first I want to start out and thank Kevin West. If any of you guys don't know Kevin, he's been around. He always jokes he's the bald-headed guy in the room. I met with Kevin a few years ago now. I've known Kevin for a long time through church. As a kid growing up at the church, he was the fun guy leading the kid stuff class. And I had the opportunity to meet with him a couple years ago, and he started to mentor me in business and coaching and just in life in general. And so he works with our office staff once a month and our sales staff once a month. And yesterday we got to get our whole team together, training, had Kevin in there, doing a lot of training with that. So I'm really excited to have Kevin. I think he really kicked it off this morning and allowing you guys to meet somebody new. And I'm sure you'll meet a lot more new people as the day goes on. So very excited for that. But the whole idea of today, and many of you see it, is that when you came in, is the bigger and smaller at the same time. The power of you, bigger and smaller at the same time. And a lot of you guys might say, what does that mean? And I think Kevin hit the nail on the head of this right here. Look how big this has gotten, DAC Days over the years, from some of you that have seen it at Dutch Valley Restaurant when I was a little kid, to Breitenbach, to the Tool Shed, to now coming and seeing this. And really, though, what matters is you. And that's what we're going to talk about as the day goes on today. But first, I want to congratulate the people in 25 that have made a difference and have put that power in themselves and passed it on to others. So with that being said, we're going to go into our 25 awards, and then we will lead into the rest of our day. So first off, if I could have our territory managers from DAC please come up front, and we will start into our awards presentation. So we'll go down through our top 10 dealers, and again, we'll do a round of applause at the end for all these so we can go down through them. But our top 10, obviously, they put in the time, the effort. Almost every one of the top 10 is here today, so we're very excited to congratulate them. And we will start down through our top 10 dealers and pass out the awards. First place, or 10th place, is going to be Willis Graber. Willis Graber could not be here today, but Willis Graber comes in 10th overall in the company for DAC. In 9th place is Freddie Yoder of Watoma, Wisconsin. Not here today. 8th place, Mullet Harness Shop, Middlefield, Ohio. Joey Mullet, I know he is here. If you'd please come forward if your name is announced, and we will get your trophy and everything that goes with. So there should be the Mullet's Harness Shop right there. Gets a trophy, yep. Seventh place, Hillside Harness, Millersburg, Ohio. Right down the road over here. In 6th place, Romp and Play out of Shipshewana, Indiana. Dennis is here. In 5th place, Cub Run Milling, Cub Run, Kentucky. I believe Lester is here, yep. Fourth place, Stutzman's Feed, Arthur, Illinois. John Helmuth here. Third place, Nicole Varee. Nicole, this is her first year in 9 years that she had to miss DAC Days, so she was very bummed, but she's doing an event for us, actually has a booth set up, so she was very bummed to miss that. Second place, Homer Sleighball in Dalton, Wisconsin. Homer. And our top dealer in 2025 was Yoder Blacksmith, Henry Yoder of Fredericksburg, Ohio. Let's give a big round of applause to our top 10. Those of you that have won the top 10 have a trophy. Before you guys leave, and over here on the right, there are boxes. There is a DAC rug in there for you as well for an outdoor front mat. So again, thank you guys very, very much. So now we'll go down through and dig into each one of our territory managers in the top 3 in their area. Oh, excuse me. First one, we go through our distributors quick. We didn't have only but one distributor was able to come today. It was Kevin Warren from RJ Matthews. Tiffany, do you have that one there? Okay, perfect. If you would come up, please. Number 1 was Animal Health International in Loveland, Colorado. Number 2 was RJ Matthews. Kevin, thank you very much, from Massillon, Ohio, local to us. And number 3 was Big D's Tack and Vet Supply. So now we'll go through Trapper Troyer and Everett Troyer, covering Ohio and West Virginia. So if you would please come forward and grab those as you're here, please. So top territory was Yoder Blacksmith, Henry Yoder. Coming in second was Hillside Harness, Millersburg, Ohio. And third was Mullet's Harness Shop. All 3 ended up in the top 10 as well. So thank you guys very much. Round of applause for them, please. Then we'll go to Andy Ellsworth's territory. First place being Homer Slaybaugh. Second, Stutzman's Feed. And third was Freddie Yoder, who is not able to make it today. So let's give those guys a great round of applause as well. Then we go to Tiffany Schoaf. I forgot about this. Okay, I'll have to admit to it here. Tiffany got married, and none of us at the office, we even printed all of her certificates, Tina and I did the other day, and had her original name on there and forgot to change it. So I still go by Schoaf, and even when she texts me or calls me or messages me, it pops up. I'm like, who is this? And I always forget, so I am sorry on that, Tiffany. Her top dealer is T&T Distributors in Ocala, Florida. Second place is T&E Racing. And third is Yoder Blacksmith, Joe Yoder, out of Randolph, Mississippi. Joe is hoping to make it here at some point today. We're hoping so. Again, let's give those 3 a round of applause, please. Then we'll go to Katie McGrain. First place is Nicole Varee, unable to attend today though. Second place is Byler's Harness and Shoe Shop in Smicksburg, Pennsylvania. And third is Preferred Solution Supply out of New York. Let's give those 3 a big round of applause, please. Then we'll go to David Backman. First place, Cub Run Milling. Second is Romp and Play Stables. And third place is Willis Graber out of Odin, Indiana. Then we'll have Doug Landon. Doug covers in the Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Louisiana, and Arkansas. We have also recently just brought on board Peter Canizero, standing here in the front. Pete, if you'll raise your hand. Those two, with that large of a territory, will be tackling that area together going forward here in 2026, so we're very excited to be on board there. First place is James Gonzalez out of Las Vegas, New Mexico. Second place is Dennard's Farm Store in Whitesboro, Texas. And third place is Chapel Horse Sales out of Gordonville, Texas. Let's give those three a round of applause, please. Then Everett Troyer, who most of you know, works with Trapper, handles Ohio and West Virginia. When he came on board, we have put him virtually in the office, but handles our out west sales from his computer, his phone, but being boots on the ground here in Ohio. So let's walk through those here. That is the California, Arizona, Nevada, Oregon, Utah, Washington, Idaho, and Montana. First place was John Burkholder out of Victor, Montana. Second was Coastal Farm and Ranch, Idaho Falls, Idaho. And third was Young Farm, Cassie Young out of Oregon. Let's give those three a big round of applause. So let's give all of our top dealers in our company a huge round of applause, please. That being said, it is big and small at the same time. Those accolades of those top dealers that have done that many years in a row, some of you first time getting into that top 10, being in the top of your territory, you had to start somewhere. If you ask some of those that have been there, that have made it to the top of it, if you ask them when they first started selling DAC, where they started at, as Trapper could probably sit up here and tell stories for a long time. It all started somewhere. So we appreciate each and every one of you. With that, I'll have our sales staff take a seat and we'll go through here in the next bit of our awards. Thank you, guys. One more round of applause for all of them, please. Jeez. Didn't think that would hit me like that. So a couple years ago, my wife had the idea we're going to start a scholarship. And it was the Commitment to Excellence Scholarship. And 2 years ago, I decided, let's make it for my grandpa. Who many of you probably have seen at DAC Days if you've been here before. Worked in our warehouse, did a little bit of everything. Always one of the best for our family, our company, my dad. Sorry. So 2 years ago, we made it though. My grandfather passed away, had dementia, couldn't be able to attend. And I said, I want to make the award based off of him because he would want somebody that's working hard, doing stuff to better the community, the people around him, to get this award. So this year, the Harvey Jacobs Commitment to Excellence Scholarship recipient is Hannah Borders out of Missouri City, Texas. She is going on to compete at the collegiate level in the equine industry. And again, we're very excited to be able to honor her. She wasn't able to make it. Robin Fischescher is here today. Her daughter has won the award the first year that it was made, the Harvey Jacobs Commitment to Excellence Scholarship. So again, let's give her a big round of applause for winning that scholarship. Now, this next slide here is pretty crazy to me. And I wish that I was still in sales so I could come after him, because my goal when I was in sales was I told Andy, I'm coming after you. I never got there. These four right here, though, are in the $1 million territory managers: Andy Ellsworth, Dave Backman, and Katie McGrain, and Trapper Troyer. Many of you know Trapper, being around here. He is the reason that we're here today, and I'm standing up here, and my father is standing up here. Trapper called on my grandpa, called on my father, and sold them the DAC products. Thank you very much, Trapper, for your continued excellence in sales and support through the years. Then the next one's Katie McGrain. I joke with everybody and tell her she's pretty much my cousin because my dad's sister married into the McGrain family. So Katie's like a cousin to me, like family. All of our sales staff is like family, really. But I tell the story the first time that my dad ever did a meeting with Katie, and we joked about it the other day. First meeting was done. It was a great meeting. My dad was with her, spoke, come out of the meeting, and Katie just started crying, and she said, I can't do this. And now look at where she's at, selling over $1 million in her DAC territory manager, as a DAC territory manager. So thank you very much, Katie. I get to travel a good bit with her as well, doing meetings. We had a lot of fun. We did a steak meeting for one of her dealers earlier this year, and we showed up at the meeting. She had all these coolers full of meat, and I said, Katie, are those steaks all thawed? Well, no, they're frozen. They're frozen solid, and we got to cook them right now. So we had a lot of fun that night at that meeting, to say the least. It took a little longer than we anticipated, so thank you, Katie. And Katie has been with us, yes, for 12 years now. Next up is David Backman. Dave Backman covers the Michigan, Indiana, Kentucky area. Dave is hitting the ground running this year, doing a phenomenal job. I like to work with Dave a little bit because I covered that area. I covered southern Indiana and Kentucky, and so I have a lot of fun working with Dave. Dave grew up feeding the DAC products, had the Wells Fargo hitch for a few years, did a great job with that, used the DAC products in that transition, and now is a $1 million territory manager. So thank you, Dave. And then Andy Ellsworth. I still think if I was in sales right now, I'd give him a run for his money, but I'm not sure. But Andy has worked for us. He was just saying back there, he thinks it was around 2008 in January, he came to work for my dad. When I did a presentation at Andy's DAC Days in August this last year, and I joke about it. Andy was a Walmart greeter. He stood out front of Walmart and greeted everybody coming in, passing out stickers. That's not true. He worked in the back end, but I had ChatGPT make me a nice thing where Andy's handing out the smiley face at the front of Walmart before he came to sell DAC. But he still always has that smile on and still gives off that same good slogan to everybody at DAC. So Andy's been with us, like I said, since 2008. Started out, I remember when he called in, wanted to sell that first drum of oil. And now I won't be surprised if he'll be knocking on the $2 million mark here coming into the next couple years. So again, thank you, Andy Ellsworth, very, very much. And we really appreciate you. So with that being said, Andy, if you'll please come forward. So Andy, again, coming in 2008, working. His dad grew up in the halter horse industry. My dad grew up in the halter horse industry. When I first took over as the general manager, I told everybody that I probably could get along with almost everybody in our sales staff, our office staff, but I was the most nervous about one person, and that was Andy. Because I had told him I'm going to beat him, I'm going to be better than you in sales, and I never got that opportunity. They pulled me out because they didn't want me to scare him away. So, but Andy has done a phenomenal job. He puts on his own DAC days out in the Midwest, in Iowa and Wisconsin. We did one in Missouri. Dr. Cubic comes in for that. He does a phenomenal job. Those of you that have Andy, very, very lucky. I said about the $2 million. I forgot. He is over $2 million. He told me if he hits $3 million or $5 million, he wants to go on a elk hunt or polar bear hunt, 3 of them. He's always got something. This year, though, we're going, Andy and I in May, and my father, we're headed to Canada, and we're going black bear hunting for his top sales rep award. So we're very excited about that. So let's give Andy a big round of applause, guys. Next up, if Tiffany, if you'd please come up. So Tiffany was a dealer underneath of me when I was a territory manager in Kentucky. She was in Indiana at that time. And I always said, I had a very large group of dealers. I covered a very large area. And every time that I was in the area traveling, had questions, Tiffany was, I got this order to drop ship here. I got this order to drop ship here. And she would call, and she had questions about DAC, but she would answer her own questions about DAC. She would start talking about it, and she knew everything about the product already. And I was like, okay, so why'd you call me for a question, Tiffany? And then she knew who it was going to and what was going on. So it was an easy conversation. And when the time came, though, that I was coming into the general manager position, and we were looking for somebody else, Barbara Ray had called on Tiffany, and I called out to Barbara, and I said, Barbara, what do you think if Tiffany would want to work for DAC? And she's like, oh, wow, I think it would be great. And I thought, she knew all the answers about DAC. She's fed the DAC products. She's been a dealer. So I said, let's do it. Well, what we don't know is Tiffany is very big into the racehorse industry. Her husband now works for Brad Cox, has one of his whole strings of horses, trains for him. And so she got in with the DAC products, and now she has done a phenomenal job, let alone of all her territory, but in the racehorse industry. And she earned herself the Rising Star Award for 2025 with the largest growth in sales. So let's give Tiffany a huge round of applause, and thank you, Tiffany. Thank you. So when we look at that and we did the Rising Star Award, my Aunt Tina and I were going back and forth, and we're talking with Deb, and we're going through our numbers. And the Rising Star Award is for the person who shows the largest percent growth in their territory in that year. And when we were looking at doing that, Tiffany's area, she has grown her area a tremendous amount. Didn't have very much sales. Took that number huge. Over 150% is where she ended up at, growing it. And then we were looking back, and I said, well, the amount of sales numbers, if we look at dollars, it changes that. We've always went by our percent. And I said, we have one person that just keeps hitting that border every single time. They might not have the largest percent, but their sales continue to grow every single year after year after year. And I said, we need to start recognizing that, because that is a lot of determination and time put into that. And so this year we're coming out with a new award, and that is the Commitment to Excellence Award. And Andy Ellsworth has won that award this year. So Andy, if you would, please come back up one more time. Let's give him a huge round of applause. Andy pulled up a number yesterday as he was sitting in the office and writing down his numbers. The guy keeps notes on everything, too many things, to be honest, if you ask me. But he can tell you how much DAC he needs to sell probably in the next 5 minutes to hit his goal at the end of 2026. But that number was 19 million and some change that he has sold for the DAC company since 2008. So let's give a huge round of applause for Andy Ellsworth. Thank you. So with that being said, we're going to turn over to a small break and then come back. Kevin will join us back in, and we will start our day of 2026 and what that looks like on the horizon to be able to recognize new people, maybe some of the same people, some of the same territory managers that are going to put in that hard work here through 2026, like all of you did in 2025. So again, let's give one more big round of applause for all of our award winners.